Hey, and welcome back to another Healthy Habits That Changed My Life video. This is part of a series, so if you want more inspiration, more tips, then I will leave a link to the playlist right here and in the description. And today I share 5 more healthy habits that have to do with food, exercise, and mindfulness. As always, they fit perfectly into a minimalist lifestyle and they help me to feel my best mentally, physically, and emotionally. So let's dive right in. Alright, so the first healthy habit that I want to share with you today has to do with mindful eating. That means eating without distractions, no phone, etc. Yes, I went there. And total honesty, this was a little bit tricky for me in the beginning, and it still is sometimes, but it does really have a good impact on my days, and I'll tell you why. A lot of people eat without much awareness, so they're eating while they're also doing other things, and they're not really experiencing it. And studies have actually shown that this way of eating causes people to feel less full and saturated after a meal, and that can lead to unhealthy snacking later in the day. When you take the time to really enjoy your food, you enjoy the flavors so much more, and it's also a nice way to get out of the thinking mind for a while, because we all have to eat at least 3 times a day. So it's nice to give yourself that time to give yourself a mental break while you're eating. And of course, if you are eating with others, it's also a great opportunity to have conversations and catch up. The only moment in the day when I still have trouble with this sometimes is during breakfast time. And if I'm having breakfast with my boyfriend, for example, I don't have a problem with it. But if I'm alone, then I will often watch Netflix while I eat my breakfast. So I know that that is something that I still need to change and that I'm still working on. Mindful eating also helps with digestion because you are eating more slowly and you're taking the time to properly chew your food. Much better than if you're just having a sandwich or something while you're also on the go. And it can also help to reduce food cravings, and it can improve your relationship with food if that's something you're struggling with. And something else that I really like about it is that it helps me to acknowledge that this food is something that keeps me healthy and nourishes my body, and it's just something to express some gratitude for it occasionally. There's a lot of crows outside of my balcony right now, and my door is open and they're making a really big ruckus, so if you hear something going on, that's it. And one is just kind of looking straight at me, so it's kind of scary. Next healthy habit is something I really needed to train myself to do, and it was not easy. And I don't really hear a lot of people talking about this one either. And that is that I stopped sleeping on my stomach. And that used to be the only way that I could sleep or fall asleep. And I managed to change it around by practicing to being able to also fall asleep on my side. Now, I started doing this when I learned why I regularly woke up with headaches in the morning and just really sore muscles in my lower back. And that has to do with your posture when you're sleeping with your head to one side. And having changed this, I don't really wake up with headaches anymore. Also, the muscles of your body are kind of compressed when you sleep on your stomach, which can make breathing less efficient, and it can even limit blood flow to certain areas of your body, including your brain. And I used to also have a lot more acid reflux, which I don't have nearly as often now. And there are actually more reasons why sleeping on your stomach is not the best position or the healthiest position to sleep in. So if you want more info, just Google it to learn more. So basically what I did was just being very strict with myself and training myself to fall asleep on my side while trying to keep my shoulders as open as possible and not letting them get too compressed. And it took me about a month to get used to it, but I'm really glad that I did it. And I would love to be able to sleep on my back too, but that kind of seems impossible at the moment, but I'll keep trying. Also, something to keep in mind is making sure that your pillow is high enough so that when you're sleeping on your side, your neck is kind of in a neutral position, because that was something that used to bother me when trying to sleep on my side. So let me know in the comments what your sleeping position is, or your preferred sleeping position, and if you've tried to change it before, and what your experiences are with it, because I'm still relatively new at this. I would love to be able to fall asleep on my back, so let's see if we can help each other out. Next healthy habit is that I stopped consuming sugared drinks. So things like sodas, obviously, or having sugar in your tea or coffee, or things like fruit juice, and I didn't replace it with any sweeteners either. I just thought that not consuming any drinks with sugar in it is a great way to cut down on calories and of course on sugar. And it also makes you get used to flavors that are not so sweet, because that is something that people can get used to easily. And now I don't even keep sugar in the house. I don't use it for anything, and if I make something like cookies or a vegan cheesecake, I don't make them that sweet either. I will just use things like dates or bananas and things that are naturally sweet. I just drink lots of water, tea, coffee sometimes, or decaf coffee. I might drink something like a fresh ginger tea or mint tea, which is something that we drink a lot here in the Netherlands actually. And I enjoy this a lot more. It's better for your weight and can also really help to cut down on plastic waste and waste from cartons and stuff in general. I also noticed that sugar drinks can have a really big impact on my energy levels, because they give me this really big spike of energy really fast, and then it comes down really quickly and leaves me feeling very tired and lethargic, and I don't have that anymore. And actually some sweeteners can have a similar effect, so not consuming any sugar drinks has very much helped me to keep stable energy levels. And speaking of energy levels, I have another habit that I changed that I want to share with you, so it's kind of like a bonus habit. And that is that I stopped drinking coffee after 2 p.m. So if I want to have coffee after that time, I will take a decaf. And I also stopped drinking caffeinated teas after 6 p.m. So no black tea or green tea. And I switched that to herbal tea. And this greatly helped me to get more stable energy levels during the day and get better sleep. Something I didn't know is that caffeine actually stays in our system for a really long time, even after you stop feeling the effects of it. And it can impact your sleep for up to 6 to 8 hours after you drink coffee. So if you stop drinking it at 2 p.m., you have a higher chance that it won't impact your sleep. And while tea has less caffeine than coffee, it does have some. So that's why I stopped drinking it after 6 p.m. Something I also do is have a caffeine-free week every now and then, which was very hard in the beginning, because even though I only drink about 1 cup of coffee per day max, I still had some withdrawal symptoms like headaches. And this is actually why I think it's good to do something like that every now and then and not let your body become too dependent on it. So maybe 3 or 4 times a year, I will have a caffeine-free week. Of course, for me it was quite easy to do a caffeine-free week because I'm not really used to drinking that much coffee anyway. But if you are, then I do recommend doing some research before you go cold turkey for a week. And I'm actually curious if some of you have tried to quit caffeine before and what your experiences are with it. So share that down below in the comments. Next healthy habit is daily journaling, and I only started doing that this year, and before that I only had a bullet journal, and I use that mainly for planning my tasks and organizing my days and my weeks. So I did not really have a journaling practice where I would write down how I feel or what's going on in my life, etc. And actually, I'm not really the type of person who enjoys grabbing a notebook and just writing down my thoughts and feelings and just random writing down how I feel. I do think that that is a very healthy thing to do, and I did try it a couple of times, but I just couldn't make it into a habit. It's just not really my thing. But then I found a way that I can enjoy daily journaling, and that is with my 6-minute diary from Your Best Self. I actually showed this diary before in my minimalist journaling ideas video, and I'm still using it, which is why I'm so excited that they agreed to sponsor this video. So a really big thank you to the 6-minute diary for supporting this channel. Now, when it comes to journaling, I would advise to just try out different formats and see what works for you. For me, I like this one best because it has a set structure and it only takes 3 minutes in the morning and 3 in the evening. So that's why I really like it. But maybe for you, it's just grabbing a notebook and writing whatever pops in your head. So try out different things and see what works for you. If you want more info about the 6-minute diary, I will leave a link for you in the description and in the pinned comment. And I will also link my minimalist journaling ideas video because I do a flip through of this one so you can see the inside and get a little bit more info there. Alright, on to the 5th and final healthy habit for today. The last healthy habit for today is one that really works wonders for me, and that is doing some physical activity when my mind is busy or in turmoil, or when I feel a little bit stressed or anxious. So if I have a bit of a monkey mind, doing something physical instead. This actually works a lot better than what I used to do, which was basically just resting. So if I was just having a bad day or experiencing a bad mood, or if I felt stressed or anything like that, What I would do is basically just take some time and allow myself to rest. So I would maybe watch some Netflix or play a game or read a book, etc. And of course it is important to, the crows again, to take enough rest. I do find that it didn't really help me to get into a better mood the way that stretching or exercising does. When we feel like that, it's really easy to get caught up in our thoughts and emotions and kind of forget that we are not just this, we also have a body attached to it. And if you are trying to get out of your head by watching a movie, for example, it doesn't really help because you're substituting one mental thing for another. And I find that taking a short moment to be active physically really does help me to get out of my head a little bit. And even if I am super tired and not feeling it at all, I always notice that after a few minutes, I already start to feel a little better. So sometimes I might do some light stretching with little deep breathing exercises, and I might even grab some pillows and make it really comfortable and restorative. And sometimes I will do a high intensity workout or a power yoga session. So kind of depends on my mood. And of course, if the weather is nice, then going for a long walk also works wonders, if the crows let you out. And even if I don't have much time, sometimes I will take like 30 seconds or a minute to stand in a forward fold against my kitchen cabinets, or just put my legs up the wall, something where there's an inversion. And I know that may sound kind of strange, but it does really help. Thanks so much for watching, my friend. Check out the Healthy Habits playlist if you want more inspiration. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to help me out, then you can do so by giving this video a thumbs up. And of course, have a lovely day, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.